What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Episode 16 of the walkthrough, picking up here in the caria manor. So at the end of the last episode, I told you guys, make sure you got some fire ready, whether that be fire grease, fire ashes of 4, incantations, or just a fire weapon. It's going to be very, very helpful here. So we got to deal with these big-ass hands. Good news is, they all drop Somber 2s. The small ones have a small chance to. The big ones pretty much all drop them. You're going to come out here with more Somber 2s than you'll need for the rest of the game. So what we're looking for is we're going to go to the left, all the way back, get our side of grace, then we're going to come down the right side and complete this place. Hit in the middle when we come back down. So when you see these, if I get to them, I don't want to get too close. So bumpers and triggers, you're going to tap your bumpers and triggers like crazy when that happens. And he will let you go. So the fire's going to actually stun lock them for a second. Ooh, that one actually didn't drop a somber. Wild. Yeah, so the fire's going to stun them for a second. They're going to roll around. That is going to give you the chance to put them down. Me working with the weapon that does blood loss and has fire on it can be really nice for the ones with more health. Also remember, we got a Somber 6 episode before last as well, so our damage is getting up there. You know, it's getting up there pretty good. Obviously, this is not my main weapon for the whole playthrough, but still, we're going to get it right while I have it. And we're just going to keep this thing buffed. You know, going with the recommended build. This is the reason why I'm putting together this build. Everything that we could use to our advantage is, you know, going to be really helpful. Like I said, bumpers and triggers when it happens. And the fire will actually cause damage over time to them. Some enemies it does, some enemies it's just damage for that initial hit. But these guys, like if I was to throw a fireball at him, you notice they're going to like just slowly burn. Look at that health bar. Just slowly burn. If I were to charge it up more and put them all the way out. And it should have, look, they got barely any health left. Alright, now, there's the stairs. That's where Side of Grace actually is. But there are some other items down here on this side. And so if we had like one more point in Arcane for just a bit more scaling on our incantations, we'd put them out with one fireball. But, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, it's finished taking up everything out over here. Just make sure you're looking for them sticking out the ground. These guys can get overwhelmed. In fact, while I was taking notes of this episode, I got to the center. And I literally had to like run away, and there was like 6 of these guys. I just swung for the fences and ended up surviving, but I almost didn't, you know. And this is just gonna be crafting shit down here. You're gonna get glintstone and then a rimmed crystal bud. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of these fuckers here, and I mean a lot. Seems like we took down a lot of them. We haven't even seen half. The other side's got more. Is you look closely on these beams coming off the bridges, they're just hanging on the side of them. You know, they're just hanging on the side of them. Alright, so that was that side. So now we're going to run all the way up top. We don't want to rest unless you absolutely have to. Because then all those guys are going to spawn back in. But, I mean, even I, still to this day, being through here so much with my own playthroughs and getting prepared for these episodes, I still run out of heals doing this fucking area. Also, that purple projectile, watch out for that. It's not so much the projectile hitting you, it's the explosion from it. So if the projectile gets shot right in front of you, just remember to dodge right after it. Like I said, it's the explosion that's going to get you. What it does is it pretty much just locks you in place, and you will be unable to do anything. And then you just got to come over there and pop, 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 you know, and just fuck you up. So let's not even play around with it. Alright, going over here, get our Side of Grace. Try not to rest. Come back behind the altar over here. We'll actually be able to get a smithing 4. 3 or 4, yeah, it's a 4. If you look up, this is a different section. You'll see the little hole in the roof. So this, I mentioned this last episode. I said it's just going to take a whole episode because we're at the courtyard, the castle, then stuff behind here, and then we had to drop back in top. Well, to get to there, that's what we got to do. We had to go all around the outside and drop back down from outside here, and then drop through the hole, and then we get to that balcony. So if you see it and you're wondering, that's how. It's just not time yet. And I did. Yep, we did actually activate the site of grace. That's going back. So we're going to get another spell over here. It's going to be called Carrion Piercer. It's just like, Carrion Slicer or any of the other spell blade spells where you're pretty much casting out a magical sword from your wand. Well, this one's more of a rapier type, obviously, Carrion Piercer. It's pretty strong. I don't really care for the thrusting movesets. On a spell, though, it's pretty good. Hits pretty nicely. It's actually going to be in a scarab. But before we even get to the scarab, we're going to be utterly and completely surrounded. This is where the hands are the worst. It's not even just this back area, it's this whole side. But I still firmly believe this is the best way to navigate. Blood boss kicking in is nice. We've already gotten a shit ton of Somber 2, as you guys see. Plus the ones we already had. There it is, Carrion Piercer, phenomenal spell. And if you have to deal with them that way, that's good too. Guard counters. You're only going to stagger them if you're on fire though. If you can view your weapon on fire and guard counter them, they'll cause them to take damage and they're going to roll around. It works out pretty nicely. Keep you a bit more safe. You come grab your mushrooms. Not something you absolutely have to have, but they do craft a lot of shit. Let's just make sure. I knew it was about to wear off. I was like, let's just make sure it's buff lasts. You play the game long enough, you kind of know the timing. And right by that fountain there in the middle. That's where we're going next. That's where it gets the worst. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to drag them back towards me so we don't get overwhelmed by the big ones. If you were to look up on that pillar, the bridge is, that's holding up the bridge, they're just hanging around, and there's more. I don't know where they all come from is the thing. Yeah, there's one there, one on each side, and there's even more that show up. So just run up, grab your stones, and rub it back. There's like 3 dudes right there, yeah. Go. The other one's coming slowly but surely. Get your 2. We're fighting him with no fire. We don't have a choice. He's already on me. If I would have tried to buff, I probably would have been fucked. So, ooh, out of mana. That's okay. We're almost through it. Good news is, as soon as we get all the items here, since we got that side of grace, we can just fast travel out. So that's kind of what I was going for. Just looking around, see one item over there we missed. This door, that's another place we have to jump to the top of that roof and we'll fall down. So there's another legendary ornament here, our third one. First 3 in the game come pretty fast. The other ones are not going to come for a while. So we're good to go. So now we're getting back over by the front door. As you see, we kind of went up the left side, carry side of grace, and worked back like in a circle. So, if you're looking at the main gate, we're going back to our left. If you just come in the main gate, it's your immediate right. Where are you? I hear you. Got him. Grim Crystal Bud. So as far as the pickups you're going to see, they are all just going to be crafting stuff. I mean, there's a couple smithing 2s we already got. That was probably the most valuable item besides the spell and besides the cookbook. This guy's just like a mage. He's an Albinaric, one of the Albinarics. So the Albinarics are those big frog-looking guys, and then you got like the cripples. not to be disrespectful, but you know, they can't walk, or you know what I mean. So these are also albinarians, the ones that look just like Aldous. You're gonna see these little swords on the ground. This is the most pathetic trap ever created. I could sit here and slowly just walk away, and I'm not gonna get hurt. It's really weird. Alright, get your Somber 3, and we did get the cookbook. Yes, we did, so we're good to fast travel over here to Manor's lower level. Obviously, the side of grace we just got. Now, this part, this upper part, is going to take multiple trips. And that's because, you know, there's one drop so we can get our legendary weapon. If you do not get this, you will not be able to get your platinum trophy. Because you got to get all legendary ornaments. So what we're going to do first is we're going to actually follow this around to the left. There's a path going to the right, and there's a path going to the left. The path going to the right, if you were to go pretty much straight and curve around up those stairs, that's how you progress. Over here is going to be the Sword of Night and Flame. Very powerful weapon. It's a short sword. If you were doing Faith, Intelligence is probably the most devastating weapon in the game for you. I mean, obviously, it's pretty much like the only weapon that's, you know, not a regular weapon you get creative with, but like the only weapon that truly is meant for Faith, Intelligence. So we're just going to look for the building below, drop off, and you can kind of see where it's like crumbled up there. Well, that piece is missing. We're just going to run and jump. Now you can go jump over here and look, but there's nothing there. So just drop on down here. This weapon's pretty wild. Pretty wild. With pretty high requirements as well. So that is 24 Faith, 24 Intelligence, 12 Strength, and 12 Dexterity. But, you know, short sword, really beautiful looking weapon for one. But look at that. Physical, magic, fire. Equal scaling on magic and fire. Your best scaling's got to be on, you know, intelligence and faith. It just has a strength and dex requirement. That's, you know, leveling up strength and dex is going to get you more physical, while in faith it's obviously going to get you more magic and fire damage. It's got a lot going on with it. Like I said, really, really beautiful looking weapon. It's just, you know, at the end of the day, it's a short sword. It's got a really wild aspect for it. It has two. So holding L2 and R1 will shoot like a magic beam straight out, a holy beam, and just, you know, really lay into people. And then the L2, R2 does a swipe, and it throws out a huge wave of fire. It's actually, it's quite something. You know, a lot of people went crazy about this weapon when the game first came out. They called it one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and I'm sure it could be with the right scaling and stuff. Actually, there's no point because we can't get back up, so we got to go back to Manor lower level. Ain't got a choice, y'all. Ain't got a choice. Now we're going to take the other path, and believe it or not, you still got to kind of go through this 2 more times. But what we're going to do is we're going to run all the way up. You can fight these guys if you want. You can ignore them. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess it is sold. Believe it or not, they have the same drops as regular soldiers, even though they're spectral. But you don't have to. Remember, these things can only hurt you if you stand right there. I mean, I'm right next to it, still do nothing. No, you don't. I don't care if you hit me, just don't push me off the edge. Yeah, like I said, see, they still have the same drops, even though they're spectral. That's the way we went last time. This time we're kind of going straight ahead. Some of these guys will still kind of like pop up right behind you, and you know, so depends where they spawn in. Just keep an eye out for them. Like I said, it is souls at the end of the day. Sorry, here and behind me. Not so bad. This, you know, this whole section we just used our first heal. That's with traps, multiple guys, you know, crossbow bolts, magic projectiles. Like, it's not too bad. All right. Oh, we got a straggler, huh? Where's he at? And yes, you can stagger ghost. It's wild, isn't it? Alright. So, there is some side stuff down here we gotta do. But what I like to do first, because it makes the most sense. Otherwise, you have a run back. We can come right up here and get a side of grace. Okay, so now that we got the upper manor upper level, what we're going to do is just run straight down. And pretty much as soon as you get down to the bottom of the stairs, just kind of run right here, Joe. I mean, you can look if you want to. I guess I'm just comfortable with it, but it's pretty much like just at the bottom of the stairs. So if you go left, you're going to notice there's nothing over here, but drop, go under the stairs. You get to go over in 3. There's nothing too crazy over here, but there's, you know, somber stones and there's a whip. Yes, there is a whip. We've only found one whip. That was the regular whip over in Weeping Peninsula at Castle Morn. There's the second one, obviously way cooler, but the best whip's like at the end of the game, Mountaintops of the Giants. It's a whip that comes with innate blood loss. You get it from doing an evasion. So the Arumi you've probably seen on, you know, trailers for the game and stuff. It's also a metal whip. I don't think it has blood loss. I never looked at it. Whips have never been my thing. So pure physical dex. These are the Virgin Abductors. This is the trap that Patches was talking about. And not this one in particular, but there's going to be one of these guys down in Caria. And that is going to send you to Volcano Manor. Now, the only way to hurt these guys, yeah, they can, you know, you'll learn them eventually. The only way to actually hurt them is when they're open. I mean, you can still do a little damage, but the big damage is when they're open. That's what we want. I mean, you can sit there and just block, wait for that opening. Just never more than like one swipe unless you have a fast weapon while they're open, or you're gonna get caught. That's gonna grab you, bring you inside, just like grind you up. So you don't want that, obviously. Why have I never noticed that? Was that a second way down? Huh, that's wild. Never noticed that. Alright. Let's go and jump back to the manor upper level. Now, out here, we're going to have some pretty big wolves. These things have so much health, you could actually get critical attacks on them. It's crazy. Fucker. There you go. And the fact they're worth 400 runes at this part in the game tells you pretty strong dudes. Alright, from this point we're going to be going straight on back. It's just like crafting stuff, nothing too crazy. Usually you can stagger them. It just depends how much time you gave them to recover in between those big hits. Alright. So we can go back here and get some herba. Mikola's Lily. Now we're going to move forward for a giant troll. So if you guys seen those colossal magic swords the trolls have, and I said you could farm them or you can get one guaranteed, this is where we're going to get one guaranteed. So if you go straight, there's going to be some melee mages. These guys, they, and some of that big magic swords coming out of their sword and hit pretty hard. You can actually parry that, though, even with just a regular parry. It doesn't matter. So we got 3 of those. We got him, and then we have a page on each side of that tower over there. So you could go down there, what I like to do, and you don't have to do it, you can do it either way. And be careful, there's a little gap there, you can fall. It's not going to kill you, but you have a run back that's kind of annoying. I like to go to the left. Go up this ladder, because there's a few guys over here too that kind of like spam spells at you. One there. Should be another one up here somewhere. There it goes. Alright. So this troll can damage these guys. So what I like to do is just try to get the drop on the troll. Start working him down. Kind of ignore them. You might have to fight some of them, but he does his slams. Kind of just helps you out. God. I did not expect him to leave with his magic attack. Look at that. He's just fucking him up. Now you can just go in and face them one by one if you want. You don't have to do this. I will say what sucks about this though is usually if you drop him, his head's gonna land in a weird spot and you won't be able to get a critical. Damn, I thought he'd be faster. He's just never ever fight him. No, do not do that. Yeah, he's got some big shit. Thank you. So you go and get your sword. Troll Knight's sword. Definitely, you know, strength int weapon. 20 strength, 18 int, 124 physical plus your scaling, 80 magic plus your scaling. So, DDD. I mean, there's few strength intelligence weapons in the game. Like, there's not even 10. But some of them are really, really powerful. Bro, you're about to murderize me. Alright, from here, get your rim crystal bud. And there's going to be another one of these guys right over here. Try to get on up behind him. Make life a bit easier. Alright, so. There we're going to go to the right, get your crafted shit. In the middle. Right over here. Grab that. Now, if you look over here to the left, there's going to be a drop down. And it's going to be a side area. And all this is like just killing a bunch of pots for the most part. But that drops, that drops. And we can get some, you know, cracked pots and a couple other little things. And we are going to do this. But unless you want to run past that shit every time, what I would prefer to do, if you don't have the health, go back and rest and just run straight here for this. But I'm going in with one heal and saying fuck it. As a boss fight, this is Loretta. She's a spectral version of the real Loretta. She's on a horse. Use a big ass glaive. You do have your summons. A lot of magic projectiles. You get one of the better mage spells in the game right here. Thank you. Her health isn't too insane as you see. No matter what weapon you're using. Now you want to be careful for that. That's actually what we'll be getting from her. If she can stack it on, she might actually kill me, believe it or not. Well, I didn't have any heals, so... yeah, it's okay. Actually, there might even be a stake in America. I'm just not 100% sure because I usually don't die to her. Oh, fuck yeah. So there is. So I wouldn't even worry about going back and resting. If you're nimble, you're quick, you can get on in here and dodge all her shit. That's one good thing. Or just tank through it, heal through it. I could go in here this time too and use my summons just for distraction. I mean, seeing how that went, it's not that I need to, but why not? I should be leading you guys to your summons more. Just watch her, you know? Watch what she's doing. As much as I'm getting hit, I'm dodging too, you know? Like, I'm probably dodging most of her shit and getting hit with something. She's definitely active, that's for sure. She's very active. She doesn't let off much. There you go. There's Loretta. That's typically how it will go. Then you get your trophy roll. Nice. Loretta, another trophy down. Ashavor, Loretta Slash, which is pretty much the same Ashavor as the, what is it, the Winged Scythe, right? But for magic and intelligence, not faith. And then obviously you get her air, or that bow spell she was doing. Now, a few mages have used that. The Study Hall guy used it on us, right? That mage, before we got that spell from him, and then Loretta used it. But now we actually have it to our bench. And when I did a mage build, that's something that never came off. That thing is fucking dope. And at the end of the game, we get an upgrade version of it. He shoots off 4 of those big ass arrows at once, and they all, like, they do a wide shot, but then they all zoom in and target the enemy at the same time and come together. It's really cool. Really, really, really well done. Dex. Getting there. Now from here, before we press on behind the Caria Manor, we're going to go on back over here into our side path. Like I said, by the time we get this region done, I'd be very surprised if both our damage stats weren't at 25. You know, that's with 40 health and 20 endurance. It's not bad, you know, it really isn't bad at all. So we're just going to kind of run and jump. It might be overkill, but I have, you know, been short before on the jump, thinking I could do a regular jump. So just don't even risk it. And we got Big Pop Bro. We've fought this guy a few times. It's not, you know, nothing too crazy. Alright. Grab your mushrooms. Grab your cracked pot. So you're gonna get quite a few cracked pots down here. And I was buying them up at the start of the game just because they are, you know, nice to have. If I wanted to craft right now, oh, he's still alive. I thought we had him on. Then you can't craft while, you know, you're in combat, but good God, bro. Remember, all y'all should be in the corner anyway. I knew they were here, but usually they don't trigger until you walk all the way over. Anyways, so if I wanted to craft right now, I went here. We have 10 cracked pots. That's good. Like, that's a good number. That's a good stopping number for just a basic build. It's not, you know, doing like a pot throwing build or something, you know. But 10's a fair amount. More than you'll ever need in one sitting, and you could always craft them in between, you know, instances. So I like to have 10. We're going to want to have quite a few here shortly. I have a strategy to get past a boss newer players might not be able to beat while we do, and because of that, we're going to use some sleep pots to get past them. And the only reason we're doing this is because there's a Somber 7 he's guarding, and we're all going to get our weapons up to +10, or, you know, at least get some levels into them. Now, you're not, when we do this, and I'm mentioning this now because it's only like 1-2 episodes away, when we do this, you're only going to have one chance to fully upgrade a Somber Stone. I mean one chance, guys. One. That's it. Until the end of the game. We're only able to do this because I know all the routes and I know how to play this game in a manner to where we can get in a really good position. So I'm saying that because we're going to go get all the Somber Stones because that's just, you know, when the route is at the Raya Lucaria. So we go ahead and have every single Somber Stone there is. But we're going to wait to fully upgrade weapons. I mean, you're only supposed to be at a +4 right now, you know, for this whole area. So, you know, going and get up to +6 for everybody, that'd be nice. If you weren't, you know, going along. And you can bring a weapon up to +9. You because we'll get 2 more. We'll be able to get like 3 weapons to +9 with this route, and then when we go to the underground, we're going to get enough summer stones to get 3 weapons pretty much fully upgraded, all the way up to +9. +10s, we're not coming again to the very end of the game. Keep that in mind. But if you have a shield, especially like a good somber shield that does magic, like the Erdtree Great Shield that fires out a holy beam, or you have a really good seal or staff that needs somber stones, and you have 1 weapon, so that's 1 weapon, 1 shield, 1 catalyst. That's 3 things to +9. So if you do a melee weapon now to +9, and then you get another melee weapon, bring that up to +10, that's the one you want, you're only going to have 1 left. So that's either your seal or your shield, your staff or your shield. So keep that in mind. Well, I mean, shields don't matter too much. Only the special ones do, right? But there's plenty of really good shields in the game. They're just good enough. But upgrade them does get you more guard boosts and stuff like that. But I mean, you could just get 2 melee weapons and a staff or a shield all the way up to +9. But I want to mention it because I don't want anyone to, screw themselves over. Speaking from experience. You would think in these games there's plenty of upgrade materials, but to be honest, there's just not, I mean, towards the middle and the end, we'll have a bunch, but like the bigger ones don't even really start coming until the end part, But any hoosers, from there, Garen Grandeur, that's that big ass sword that spawns from your sword. It comes out like a magic sword and keeps growing and growing and slams down. The 1 sword we picked up in the cart last episode had it. Well, now it's an Asher Boar anyone could use. So what we're doing is we're going all the way to the left side. We're going to drop down this cliff. It'll kick you off your horse anyway, you just might as well jump off. So when you get here, you're just looking for this. I would make sure you have some souls on you guys for sure. If you don't, I'm sure you guys at least have some of your consumable runes, so you're good anyway. Just going to roll off. So that's where we're going. That was that ledge I told you we could drop down on from, the other side. It's going over a roof. And all this is like a fang or something like that. Yeah, old fang. Nothing too crazy. You'll see a little roof you can drop right here. Nothing came of it. So now we're going to drop down here, meet Padilla. That's how he says his name. Padilla. He's a merchant though. He sells some pretty rare stuff. So he actually sells one of my favorite shields. It's shit stat wise. I just love the way it looks. But he also sells the Asher Boar a spell parry. We're gonna be dealing with a lot of mages the next 2 episodes, a lot. So this is gonna help people out a lot. Not only does it let you parry spells, it also lets you fire back stuff. So when you read about it, swing the shield to dispel incoming sorceries and incantations, transforming the magic into retaliatory glint blades. Can also be used in the same way as a regular parry. So, if you're just, and see this, I don't like this description because it's a little bit off. So, can also be used the same way as a regular parry. Yes, you can regular parry things, but you're not going to get the blades. So, I mean, that's kind of should be known from the description, I guess, but I don't think it's specific enough for a first-time player, because my first time, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I started parrying. I'm like, wait, where's my fucking glint blades? So it transforms magic into your own magic glint blades that fires back at people. That's why it's called retaliation, so you can get some damage in. And people were actually taking advantage of this when the game was new and finding ways to just really fuck people up. But as you upgrade the shield, those glint blades are going to get more damage, and it could really get up there. Like, it hits for crazy, like 800 AR or some crazy shit. But yeah, so there's 2 spell parries, and both of them have their uses. So this one, if someone fires a spell at you, and you get that parry, right? And these glint blades will fire off and hurt them. However, if you're getting hit, bam, 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 like they're spamming spells, you could only parry the first one until them swords shoot off. You cannot parry anymore, so you're gonna have to roll around, lock on, and target them so that hits. Then you can parry again. The other one we get does not fire anything back, but you could just parry everything, back to back to back to back to back. So while this is a decent choice, do keep that in mind. Larval Tears, I'm going to try to actually see if we can get every single one in a playthrough, so I'm grabbing that. Not even probably going to use it, but still. Cold Bone Arrow, Fletch, and Cold Bone Bolt. This is the one I thought another guy had. Very rare crafting ingredient right here. You kind of just find these in chests and stuff like that. I can't remember what they do, but slumbering eggs, it has something to do with sleep. It's got to. And for us, if we wanted a true arcane scaling weapon, it's just pure physical. You can't even buff it, and it does nothing special. It's just physical one-handed axe. You know, comes with wild strikes, but it's a somber weapon. It has no need to be a somber weapon, but it is, unfortunately. And this is so weird. I'm buying it. It's so weird. I never found out anything with it. I'm sure I did find it out. I just didn't know. And I do need some of that. I'm also going to buy the shield. I love this shield. It does have 93 to physical. They've, wow. They have buffed this shield. So 93 physical damage negation. Guard boost at 46, which is horrible. But I like the shield. I like the way it looks. So I'm spinning. So Padilla is going to have a quest related to Ronnie's, Sullivan's, EG's, and Blythe's. And we'll get his bell bearing later. So for now, that's all we're doing. Save us the run back. We're just going to jump over here to Royal Moon Gazing Grounds. Looking at the time, 36 minutes. So we're actually going to go ahead and get Ronnie's quest started now, because we've already cleared Redmane. We're not worried about the Radon Fest triggering. And this supposedly triggers Radon Festival, but every time I try to trigger it, like when I'm ready, I've cleared the castle, I've cleared Caelid, I'll come here. I'm like, yeah, I was told that talking to Ronnie will trigger the Radon Festival. So I'll come here, talk to her, start her quest, go back, and Radon Festival still not triggered. So I don't know what I did wrong or didn't do enough of, but, we don't have to worry about it, is what I'm saying. Because we took out Redmane Castle anyways, but so we don't have to run all the way back here later. It would make sense to go ahead and talk to her. She wants us to go to the underground, and we're going there after Caelid, and think about it. Next episode is the top of the lake and Ravine Veiled Village, and Liurnia is done. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We'll have the Legacy Dungeon, and after that we'll wrap up, what the hell is his name? The dude in the church. Thops' quest, and then we'll go up here with the Jester and the Helm to get in this tower. And then besides that, we'll hit this underground right after the Liurnia. We'll hit this one, then we'll go into Caelid, and then Caelid underground. So might as well go ahead and get her quest started. So after Caelid, we can just start it. We don't have to come all the way back up here, clear the dragon. Like, we can get all the shit done. We're right here, right now. And that's kind of the way. That's another reason I wanted to take out Redmane, just to make shit easier as far as just general progression goes. These guys like to disappear and shit. You can kill them if you want. I'm just gonna ignore them. But all we did is went out from the boss fight and we went right. We were just following this around. So we are going to deal with Ronnie shit, but we're going to do that last, because that's, we're trying to get this place cleared out. So to us, it's more important, just to clear this whole area than it is to get a quest set up for later. If we have the time, we'll fit it in. If not, we'll do it next episode. But yeah, it'd be nice to save us a trip. So right here, this is a pretty good spell. Frozen Ornament. I was hoping it was an incantation, but it's not. It's an actual spell. Remember, you have to hit them while they're down, unless you're using Sacred Blade. Even if you're using Holy, that doesn't work. You have to actually have Sacred Blade. It's the only thing that will kill them flat out. I used to go, oh yeah, let me put on Holy. But Holy makes them take increased damage, but it won't put them down. I know there's not really much back here. There's a very obnoxious, one of the most obnoxious enemies in the game. It's the Red Wolf. Red Wolf of Radagon. He's down there. There's no real reason. I guess he sucks, guys. He's gonna fire some. It's a wolf, and he fires some very powerful magic spells, and he's just so erratic. He's all over the place. You can't really get to him, but he can damn sure get to you, and he makes it look easy. Like, this guy is a very, very tough enemy. The most annoying enemy in the game, probably, in my opinion, is the Red Wolf. I can't think of a worse enemy. But I guess it wouldn't hurt. Like, there's no need to fight him. If it was my own playthrough, I would not be fighting him right now. But we are about to fight him as a boss, so... Yeah, and this is why. Look at this. We're already almost dead. Get out of here. We're at the 5 minutes boss. If you want to see what he's like, imagine this, but way worse. Look at this shit. God, bro. Almost out of heals. Oh, and he's spamming it back to back. Look at that shit. And that's the Red Wolf of Radagon. Now, it probably didn't look that hard. You gotta remember, I have well over 1,000 hours in this game. Probably around 2,000, honestly. I know it sounds crazy, but I fell in love with the game. It's my first Souls game. It probably took me 400 hours just to really get a feel for what was going on with this game and truly understand the stats and scaling and how everything actually worked. And then, you know, multiple playthroughs of different builds, going through, taking notes and prepping for walkthroughs. So, and I still struggle with them. So, just tell you everything you need to know with them, right? I mean, you about killed me twice. So, but yeah, just go all the way down. Clear that if you want. Don't have to. And then I'm going facing back up and going towards the left. Or you could have just went to the right as you came down to get over here. So in this graveyard, there is a summons we need, and we're going to solve a painting. So we picked up a painting way back when. The Artist's Shack. And this is actually where we're going to solve it. So these are the other form of the Albinerics. You can get that halberd to drop. It's another arcane skill and weapon. It is a somber weapon that you cannot actually change the Ashabor on because it's somber. I mean, you can buff it though. So there's the painting. That's what he painted. You could always go here and look. As you see, there's the wait, is that even it? No. Right here. So that's what he painted, resurrection painting, and it's in, you know, resurrection's in the graveyard, but you see Raya the Caria over the hill, you see the graveyards here, Raya the Caria over the hill. So that's how you know. Like I said, it's not, and that's where the other larva tier is. Like I said, there's 18 in the game. We already got 5, and a lot of them are in the underground. Most are in the underground. There's one in the consecrated snowfields, and then there's one in Altus Plateau, and I'm pretty sure that the rest are just in the underground. But yeah, so you don't go to where the painting what the painting is of, you go where the artist set. And I have covered that before, but just in case people aren't following along, quickly touch on that. Now, this one is tricky to find, you know, it really is. In fact, I still gotta find the one in Kaled. I've never found that one on my own. It has nothing to do with trophies or anything, but I'm gonna try to find it for the walkthrough. I know where all the rest are. If I miss a painting or two, you guys let me know, and we'll go grab them. But we should have all of them. I'll make sure. I'll figure it out. So parries work really nicely here. This for mages, this is definitely worth your time. And hopefully, you know, if you're doing this platinum run, you're just doing everything like me. So you want to dodge that. Now this guy can actually open up portals. So he opens up portals behind him, and it just rains meteors at you. So fuck yeah. This guy is really easy. Like you can just kind of toy with him, you know. I mean, I'm not exactly a parry god. This guy's just, you know, he's just not hard. He makes me look good, but I assure you, he's just an easy guy. There's that blood loss. He's kind of spectral, I guess. Oh, there it is. Alright, and that gets you Meteorite. Really, really, really devastating spell for mages, as you see. He never got a chance to get it off. But you open up a portal and you make it rain meteorites. They'll keep coming and coming and coming as long as you have mana. You just hold that down and it's fucking killing shit. Granted, not many enemies are going to let you get that off either. Maybe if you have a summons, they're distracted and you just hold that and you just make it rain meteors. It could work pretty good for that. After that, we saw the painting. Oh shit. Did we even get to the summons? I have a feeling we missed it, didn't we? No, we got them. I don't remember. I don't know. I just didn't remember getting them. Alright, so as long as you solve the painting, got the juvenile set, got the Albineric summons, and you know, the Evergel, frozen ornaments, you're good there. So you're going to see this tower is sealed off. This opens after you do the first part of Ronnie's quest, so don't worry about that for now. takes you to another underground region. As I said, there are multiple. There are a lot of them. Now we're going to go straight on back here. This would be the first ruins all the way to your right. This is pretty good. Frozen or chilling mist. So it throws out a mist, kind of like how Flaming Strike works, but then it will imbue your weapon with frostbite. There's going to be a big ass dragon here. This is a doula. This is a very weak version of her. We just hit her enough and she'll fly away. You're not going to kill her. You don't have to. Then we fight her later on. She's going to be much more powerful, and you get her spell, which is Doula's Moonblade. And that is this huge, like, carrying spell sword. But this frostbite, it's a huge great sword. So like I said, all we're doing is trying to get her health down about 40%. I don't think it's even half, so I'm going to say 40%. Oh, where you at? Bitch. That's what I want. It should be going. Maybe it is half. Remember, if you can't get to her head, just get out of her leg. There she is. Okay, so it's 60%. 60% of her health. Alright, regardless, you see, it's just not that bad. It probably got, turned around a bit. What we're looking for is right there. You're going to look for the part of the ruins with the doorway. This is easily missed. It's not easily missed. I was specifically looking for this, and I just couldn't find it. There's one of those false floors. And there's a lot of pieces of ruins here. You got over there, you got over there, you got this. But when you're going through on your horse, it seems a lot more complicated. Like, I just couldn't find it. Just remember, it's the one with the archway. So you gotta go down. There's no weapon or anything here. This is related to a quest. This is Solobus's little hiding place. This is where he keeps his dolls, his puppets. He turns people into puppets. As you see, these are all people. Omen Killer. Over here, you got Jarrite. You'll meet Jarrite here soon. We could get him as a summons. So, Solobus puppet, do not touch, right? So, interact with that. Then come over here to the roots, smack this. And you actually see a body that looks like Selen. Like, insinuating you can turn her into a puppet. And this is actually going to come in handy in Selen's quest. We're going to pretty much put Selen's soul into this body here. So remember this spot. I don't want to do spoilers, but this is very important. Selen's quest line is very obscure and very hard to figure out. It takes running around for hours and hours and hours and hours, apparently, because that's what happened to me. Well, really, how it typically plays out, and the way to find these things out, is what happened was I found this at one point in the game. Then you don't do Selen's quest line for 20 more hours. And you're just expected to remember. And then I couldn't find her anywhere after, I got her soul, didn't know what to do. And then eventually I remembered, oh wait, I seen that other body. Because if you remember, there's the body in Weeping Peninsula. There is the, her spectral version in Limgrave, and then there's this one. So you gotta remember all this stuff. But we'll eventually come back here, and this is where you put the soul, her primal glintstone, into her body right here. So it is important to talk about. I did mention at the beginning, there's going to be spoilers and there's quests, and we're going to have to talk about things in the quest because, if anything could happen. If you can't find the episode, you're not following along or whatever. But regardless, I'm always going to talk about something as we find it that pertains to very important things. Her quest is not trophy related, but you get a lot of shit from it. You get a lot of stuff from her. It's like 2 mage sets of armor, it's really cool, and have unique abilities. Magic dagger, you get access to bigger spells. Like, you get a lot of shit from mages. Or in her quest, you can also side against her and get a final upgrade for basic weapons. Ancient Dragon Smith Stone, which is still really rare. You don't find one to mountaintops of the Giants, but you can get one from her mid-game at least 10-15 hours early. You know what I mean? So do keep that in mind. But now we're going to Ronnie's Rise. What we want to do is go all the way up here. And before we do this, you guys, just to show you guys something, as far as, do it on the quest and get on the Lord, you can actually come over here and talk to Rajier. And he's going to, go on about something. Because their quests are related because, Ronnie is the one who got the Black Knives to kill Godwyn the Golden and start all this shit. Night of the Black Knives, because Ronnie had Destined Death stolen from Malakath. If you want to get into the lore, there's a lot of lore videos. But Razier is inflicted with Destined Death. He's been kind of studying all this shit, and by talking to him, he's going to have you pretty much piss Ronnie off, and she won't want to do a quest with you. But then you come back here, talk to him again, and then you talk to her, and she'll pretty much, let you work for her. That's going to get off his dialogue, get his rapier. To be completely honest, the only reason we haven't done this yet is because I always forget about his. I mean, he's kind of tucked up in this room we never go to. And I knew about it for notes, but nothing really comes from it. And we still have plenty of time to do this.
And it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed. And
so this is the lore, by what I was just saying for the most part. He's just giving you history. Give the Black Knight French.
I can scarcely believe you managed to recall our conversation. They say the assassins who carried out the deed were scions of the Eternal City.
Eternal City, that's where Ronnie's sending us. So you start to see the lines cross here.
Which the knives, please, I beg of you. I'd love nothing more. Though only traces of the one who performed the rite are sure to remain in the imprint. Half my body has been suffused with death. I'm certain it will help me see.
About D.
D isn't all. We found our paths of. No, that's.
Then you can still come and get the skills from him. Now, I'm gonna go back to Ronnie's Rise. And there's like more you could do with it by resting, but I'm not trying to piss off Ronnie. When we're in Weeping Peninsula, one of the enemies already attacked Selen. Zari needs his Celestial Dew before we could even do her quest. But her quest isn't until Mount Gelmir, and we'll get Celestial Dew after Caelid. Probably before. It's going to take this all the way up. And, there's other quests you can do. So if you try to work on Silva's quest, it'll lead you to get the Magic Scorpion Charm. The only way to get it is through him. I suggest this in New Game Plus because it'll piss Ronnie off. And if the game glitches out for whatever reason, and like you try to use Celestial Dew, and it doesn't work, and I have had that happen before, but if that happens, you do Solva's quest, you piss off Ronnie where you can't do your quest anymore, you're going to lose your platinum. So I say don't risk it. It gives you a little bit more magic damage, but there's other stuff that can do that too. So don't risk it. New Game Plus. Do it if you want to, but at least be warned.
A tarnished here. Thou must have some business in mind to come all this way, though I have no memory of inking thee an invitation. No reason in particular thou claimest. Intriguing. Then mayhaps fate hath steered thee to this reunion. Wilt thou enter into my service? I am the witch Rani. I stole death long ago, and search now for the dark path, that I might one day upend the whole of it, and rid the world of all that came before.
So, yeah, obviously there's a lot of dialogue here if you guys want to go through it. So go ahead and serve Ronnie the Witch. This is obviously important. And we'll come to this first, but pretty much what happens is
I'm sure.
You're going to be locked out of going anywhere else. So you pull up your map, you notice there's red lines through everything, so you're locked out. You have to go meet her acquaintances, her people. So that's going to be Blythe, that's going to be E.G. So, friends we've already made throughout the world. They happen to work for Ronnie too. And it's also going to be Silvus. Silvus does not like him, and his voice fucking irks me. Like, you're not going to like Silvus at all. If you want to do this quest, you can. But he wants us to, fucking try to take Nefelia out, and, just dumb shit that we're going to go over. But he pretty much wants us to give her a potion so he could turn her into one of his little dolls. And Nephelia's a good person. We're not going to fuck her over.
Oh, again, caria and while I'm told that I will.
So all this relates to the underground areas. We're not doing this yet, but...
Let us get together.
Alright, so that's Blythe's, or that's E.G.'s. Blythe will be down here. And again, Blythe's, I'm going to try to explain what Blythe is to Ronnie and how that all works when the time comes. But it's really difficult to explain. Blythe's a good dude, but we gotta take him out because of something that's really not even his fault. Poor guy. So he's a good dude, but he's kind of like being controlled by some people, some entity, you could say.
I don't know what since I asked.
That's Solvus. He does not like us.
If it were up, but who? I reside in another tower. Pay me a visit. Should you wish to be of actual service to Mistress Rani. If it were up to me, I wouldn't waste my time on the likes of you. But who am I?
Yeah, he's a prick. So now if you were to go down, like I said, there's... What the fuck? Oh, we have to go back up and talk to Ronnie one more time. That's my fault. You can't even leave the tower till you do this. And like, this is cool. The way they did this was to make sure people understand. It's not so obscure. You know, you're locked in this tower until you do what you got to do. You can't get out, and all you got to do is talk to people. So that was pretty cool of them for newer players, because we all know how Souls games are. They can be quite confusing. I think that's what one of the things that's so great about them. I know it sounds crazy, but it really is. It really, really, really is. It makes you, like, I don't know, it's like you play games like God of War or anything. Everything's right there in your face. They hold your hand. There's, you know, no reason to really explore, read, and get really into stuff. With this, it makes you, because it'll get you interested. And you're like, I want to know why this happened to him, or she did this. And you know, so it's really cool. But them kind of giving you help here is neat, because newer players don't know this kind of stuff. So you make sure you don't miss any of this dialogue.
I shall soon, and it will be this doll still. I look.
So Ronnie killed
And it will
herself.
be some
She's possessing this doll. You know, the real Ronnie, you know, got rid of her flesh, her mortal flesh. Because she didn't want to be controlled by the Two Fingers. So Ronnie and all the demigods, for the most part, America's children, are all Empyreans. Empyreans are people that could be gods, right? They could turn to a god. They have the potential to be a god. So because of that, the Two Fingers have an interest in them, assign them all shadows. Blythe is Ronnie's shadow. So their shadow has their back fully and completely, extremely loyal. But they have it ingrained in their DNA. If any of these Empyreans were ever to go against the Two Fingers, their shadow would be the one to take them out. So they are extremely loyal, but they're almost programmed in a way where these people, you know, they cannot disobey the Two Fingers. So Ronnie took her body, and now she's living in spirit form. And she doesn't like the way the world has been ran, obviously, and what, you know, the powers of them and all that shit. So that's kind of what's going on with her. But, you know, as I said, Blythe, you know, whatever he does and gets himself killed, it's not even his fault, because he does love Ronnie. He's just, like I said, he's programmed to take her out if she goes against the Two Fingers, and she's obviously going against the Two Fingers. So now we can go to Sylvis before we, you know, close out. Go and get his dialogue. He's going to want us to give a potion to Nepheli, accept the task. So from that, we're going to knock this out real quick. So we're going to do a portion of this guy's quest, a portion, and that's it, Sylvis's quest. So you can go down there and give it to Nepheli, fuck up her quest line, but do part of his. But what we're gonna do instead is go to Gideon, show him Sylvis's potion. Like I said, he wants us to give it to Nepheli, and when you do that, it's gonna turn Nepheli into a doll for him. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna hand it over to Gideon, and Gideon says he'll dispose of it. But what ends up happening is you come and you find Sylvis turned to a doll later. I'm pretty sure Gideon did that. You know what I mean? And he's saying, hey, I don't get involved. And he's already mad at Nepheli anyways. He's like, I don't get involved with anything here. You know, that's not our way. So you do what you got to do. But do you really want to be his lapdog, essentially, is what he's saying. But he's like, pretty much saying, fuck him. Just give it to us instead. And, you know, I'll dispose of it. But when you cut his quest short, you just find him turn into a dog, his Bellberg. Now we are out of time. I wanted to, you know, finish this episode. So next episode is what I say, follow along with the episodes. You're going to miss things, important things. This pertains to a quest, and you will miss it. So at the beginning of next episode, we're going to go back and talk to Sylvis. We're going to, you know, finish this section of the quests. After that, we're going and we're knocking out the whole top half in the Ravine Veld Village, and we'll be all set and ready for our Legacy Dungeon. You guys stay tuned, and we'll see you back here shortly. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. It's a newer channel. I would greatly appreciate it. We do have a lot more walkthroughs coming. Just give me time. We got Lords of the Fallen up. This will be Elden Ring. We're going to be doing the DLC next. You guys let me know what you want covered, what you need help with, and I do got you. But please sub to the channel, and we'll keep them coming.